Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Chill English Talks. I'm Edward, and today I'm here with Marie again.
Hey everyone, so happy to be here. Honestly, I almost wasn't ready today. I was sitting in my kitchen this morning, still in my pajamas at 11, just drinking coffee and staring at the wall. And I thought, you know what? I deserve this. This coffee, this quiet moment. Just me.
I love that. Pajamas until 11 is a lifestyle choice, not a problem.
Exactly. I'm calling it self-care now.
That's actually kind of perfect for today, though. That moment you described, sitting quietly, feeling like you deserve something nice, I think a lot of people struggle with that feeling. Like, really struggle. Not just in the morning, all the time.
What do you mean?
I mean, that thing where you're always last on your own list. You give your energy, your time, your kindness to everyone else. And then there's nothing left for you. And you wonder why you feel so empty.
Oh, yeah, that hits different.
So today, I want to ask you something. And I want you listening right now to think about this too. When was the last time you did something kind just for yourself? Not for someone else. Not because you had to. Just because you wanted to?
That question is going to make some people very uncomfortable. In the best way.
Yeah, maybe that means we should talk about it.
I think we really should.
Because today's episode is about learning to love yourself. Not in a cheesy way. Not in a look in the mirror and say affirmations way. But in a real, practical, everyday kind of way.
And honestly, this is something I have had to learn. I did not grow up thinking self-love was important. I grew up thinking that being good meant being selfless. Always putting others first. That's so common. And it sounds beautiful, right? Selflessness. But there's a difference between being generous and completely forgetting that you exist. Right. There's a big difference.
I think people struggle with self-love for a few reasons. One big one is guilt. Like the moment you do something for yourself, a little voice says, wait, shouldn't you be doing something for someone else right now?
Oh, I know that voice very well. She is not nice.
She really is not. Another reason is that a lot of us were never taught that we matter. Not in a dramatic way, just small messages growing up. Don't be selfish. Don't be proud. Think of others first. And those messages stay with you.
And I'll add one more. I think we're afraid that if we love ourselves too much, people will think we're arrogant. Like there's a risk, a social risk. So we play small to stay safe.
That's such a good point. Playing small to stay safe. I remember being at a work meeting a few years ago. Someone complimented my idea. And instead of saying thank you, I worked hard on that. I said, oh, it's nothing really. It was a team effort. But it wasn't a team effort. It was my idea. I just couldn't accept the compliment.
That moment right there, that's self-love struggling to survive.
Exactly. So the key idea here is this. Loving yourself is not arrogance. It's not selfishness. It's the foundation. You can't build anything solid on an empty foundation.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, so let's get into the practical stuff, because I love concepts, but I love tools more.
Let's do it. The first idea I want to talk about is what I call the full cup.
Ooh, yes. Tell 'em.
So imagine you have a cup, and every day life asks you to pour from that cup. Your boss needs something, your friend needs something, your family needs something. You pour and pour and pour, and if you never refill your own cup, eventually you're just pouring air.
And people around you can feel it too. When you're running on empty, you're not actually giving your best. You're giving the leftovers.
Exactly. I had a period in my life, maybe 3 years ago, where I was saying yes to everything. Every project, every favor, every invitation. And I thought I was being a good person, but I was exhausted. I was irritable. I was short with the people I loved most. And one evening, my sister said to me, "Edward, you seem really tired. Are you okay?" And I realized, no, I wasn't okay, because I had given everything away and kept nothing.
That's such a real story. And the hard part is, from the outside, you looked like you were doing everything right. Helpful, available, productive.
But inside, the cup was bone dry.
So refilling your cup, that's not selfish. That's maintenance. Like charging your phone. You wouldn't give someone your phone when the battery is at 2% and say, "Here, you can use it."
Well, actually, my brother does that to me all the time.
Okay, your brother is not the model here. The point is, you need to charge before you can give. Mini summary. A full cup is not greedy. A full cup is generous.
So here's a little challenge for you, listener. Think about one thing that refills your cup. One thing that gives you energy instead of taking it. Hold on to that thought. We're going to come back to it.
Okay, the next idea is one I feel very personally, and it's about self-talk. The way you talk to yourself inside your head.
Oh, this one is so important.
Okay, so think about your closest friend, someone you really care about. Now imagine they made a mistake at work. Maybe they forgot something important or gave a bad presentation. Would you look at them and say, "You are so stupid. You always mess things up. Why can't you ever get it right?"
Of course not. That would be awful.
Right. But a lot of us say exactly those things to ourselves every day. I used to do this constantly. I remember one time I was learning to drive. Yes, I learned late, don't judge me.
No judgment.
And I made a mistake parking. A small mistake. Nobody was hurt, nothing happened. But in my head, I said, out loud actually, "You're so useless, Marie." And the instructor looked at me like, "Wow, okay, that's intense."
That's such a vivid moment, and it's so relatable.
The thing is, we have this harsh inner critic, like a very strict judge who lives in our head. And that judge was probably installed by someone from our past. A teacher, a parent, a bad relationship. But here's the thing. You can change the judge.
You can't always control what happens, but you can control how you respond to yourself afterward.
Exactly. And the practice is simple. When you catch yourself being harsh inside your head, pause and ask, would I say this to someone I love? If the answer is no, don't say it to yourself either.
Mini summary: your inner voice is powerful. Make sure it's on your side.
And hey, you listening right now, what does your inner voice say when you make a mistake? Just notice it today. You don't have to fix it yet, just notice.
The third idea is one that sounds simple, but actually takes a lot of courage, and it's about setting boundaries.
The word boundaries gets used a lot lately, but I want to make it really concrete.
Yes. So think of your energy and your time as a garden. Your garden. You planted it, you water it, you take care of it. Now, some people come into your garden and they help. They bring water, they bring sunshine, they add something. But some people walk through your garden and pick the flowers and leave a mess. And you let them because you don't want to seem rude.
Oh, I love that image. The garden. Because a garden without a fence, it's not really yours anymore.
Exactly. And building that fence, that's a boundary. It's not a wall. It doesn't mean you hate anyone. It just means this space has value. And not everyone has automatic access.
I had to learn this with a close friend, actually. And it was hard because I loved this person. But every time we talked, I hung up the phone feeling drained, like she had taken something from me. Every conversation was about her problems, and I listened and I gave advice and I supported her. she never once asked how I was doing.
That asymmetry is so exhausting.
It is. And one day I just said it. Gently. I said, I care about you, but I also need us to check in on each other, not just one way. And she was actually grateful. She hadn't even noticed.
Sometimes people don't know they're picking your flowers until you show them the fence.
I love that line. Put that on a t-shirt.
Mini summary. A boundary isn't a punishment. It's a sign that your garden has value.
Okay, fourth idea. And this one is about celebrating yourself. Like actually celebrating, not waiting for permission.
We are so bad at this collectively.
So bad. Think about a child learning to walk. Every small step, everyone cheers, everyone celebrates. But then we grow up and suddenly finishing something difficult, learning something new, surviving a hard week, we just move on. We check it off the list and move to the next thing.
Right. No pause, no acknowledgement.
But think of confidence like a fire. Every small celebration is like adding a little piece of wood. You don't need a giant bonfire every day, just a small piece of wood. Something that says, hey, I did that. I showed up. That counts. I started doing this thing where at the end of the day, I write down just one thing I did well. Not a big achievement, just one thing. And at first, it felt really awkward, like I was talking to myself. But after a few weeks, I noticed I felt different, more stable somehow, more grounded. That's so beautiful, because what you're doing is training your brain to look for evidence that you are capable, instead of only looking for evidence that you failed.
And it changes how you see yourself over time.
Mini summary: celebrate the small stuff. Every piece of wood feeds the fire.
Okay, one more. The fifth idea, and this one wraps everything together. It's about making yourself a priority. Not occasionally, consistently.
This is the one that makes people a little nervous.
It does, because we confuse priority with selfishness again. But think of it this way. On an airplane, before the flight, they always say, in case of emergency, put on your own oxygen mask first, before helping others.
And everyone hears that and thinks, yes, of course, that makes sense.
But in real life, we do the opposite. We give our oxygen away and then wonder why we can't breathe.
We really do. Making yourself a priority means deciding, before anything else, that you matter. Your health matters. Your joy matters. Your dreams matter. Not more than others, but equally.
Not more. Equally. That's such an important word here.
And the practical form of this is so simple. It's asking yourself once a day, what do I need today? Not what does everyone else need? What do I need?
Mini summary. Put on your own oxygen mask first. You cannot save anyone from a place of emptiness.
And you, listening right now, what do you need today? Seriously, what is one thing you need that you haven't given yourself yet?
Hey, before we wrap up, I want to go through some of the great words and phrases we use today, because they're all really useful for everyday English.
Yes, we had some good ones today.
Okay, first one, running on empty.
Right. Running on empty means you have no energy left. You've used everything and there's nothing remaining. For example, after working 12 hours straight, I was running on empty. Or she'd been running on empty for weeks, helping everyone around her but forgetting to rest.
Great one. Next, inner critic.
Oh, yes. Your inner critic is that negative voice inside your head that judges you harshly, like a very strict judge living in your mind. For example, my inner critic told me the presentation was terrible, even though everyone else said it was good. Or learning to quiet your inner critic is one of the most powerful things you can do.
Next one, set boundaries.
To set boundaries means to decide what you will and won't accept from other people, to protect your time, energy, or emotions. For example, I had to set boundaries with my coworker who kept asking for help during my lunch break. Or it's hard to set boundaries at first, but it gets easier with practice.
Really useful one. Okay, self-talk.
Self-talk is the way you speak to yourself in your mind, the constant inner conversation you have with yourself. For example, positive self-talk can actually change how confident you feel. Or I started paying attention to my self-talk and realized how negative it had become.
Next, asymmetry.
Asymmetry means something is not balanced or equal. When you give much more than you receive in a relationship, that's asymmetry. For example, the asymmetry in their friendship, she always listened, he never did, started to hurt her. Or a healthy relationship doesn't need to be perfect, but too much asymmetry will drain you over time.
And the last one? Grounded.
Grounded means feeling stable, calm, and connected to yourself. Like you have both feet on the earth and you know who you are. For example, even during a stressful week, she stayed grounded by meditating each morning. Or self-love helps you feel more grounded because you're not always looking for approval from others.
These are all great words. And hey, pick one of them and write your own sentence in the comments. We love reading those. Seriously.
It helps so much with remembering new vocabulary. Use it or lose it, right?
Okay, let's close with the key takeaways. First, refill your cup regularly. You can't give from an empty place.
Second, your inner critic is not telling the truth. You can retrain your inner voice to be kinder.
Third, setting boundaries is not a wall. It's a sign that your time and energy have value.
Fourth, celebrate the small things. Every small win adds wood to the fire of your confidence.
And fifth, make yourself a priority, equally. Not more than others, but equally.
And if you're listening right now and any of this felt hard to hear, that's okay. It means it's relevant to you. These things take time. You don't have to have it all figured out today.
You really don't. But here's your challenge for today. Just one thing. Tonight, before you go to sleep, write down one thing you did well today. One thing. It doesn't need to be big, it just needs to be true.
And tell us in the comments, what is one small thing you can do this week to love yourself a little more? We want to know. We really do.
This was Chill English Talks. I'm Edward.
And I'm Marie. Keep it chill, keep growing. See you next time.